The jab is the most used punch in boxing, in my opinion, and I'm sure many of your opinions too. It's the most important punch in boxing. It should be the very first punch you're taught when you join a boxing gym. There's many different ways you can throw a jab. There's many different uses for the jab. Today, I'm just going to give you a textbook basic version of how you can throw your jab, applying fundamental principles so you can start to practice it in training, take it into a sparring situation or a fight situation, and be confident that you've got the fundamental backing behind how you're throwing that punch. So like many things, guys, you want to start off in a structured and stable stance and guard position. Now, what we want to do as we throw in the jab is make sure we're using our hip rotation. So we're going to open up the hips as we're throwing the jab. That's going to allow a few things. It's going to allow us to reach maximum range. It's going to allow us the speed and the power behind the punch. So make sure you're not just throwing a jab from the arm, because you're not going to get much speed, power, or rotation behind the shot, equaling no range behind the shot. So you want to make sure you're using that hip rotation. Now, when you're in your stance and guard position, it's quite a common mistake I see as well. When people throw the jab, they throw the jab and then they pull that rear hand back away from their chin or away from their guard. You want to make sure that hand stays in your guard as you're throwing your jab at all times, so you don't get caught by any counters on the opposite side. When you're throwing the jab, throw it in a straight line from where the elbow is resting to the target and then back. That's going to give you the quickest route to your target and back to your defensive position. And you want to make sure you're not bowing the elbow out as you're throwing, because that way you'll be punching out a different direction, pulling injuries, leaving yourself open, the list goes on. So nice and tight with the guard position, and we're going to push the jab from the elbow in a straight line, and all we're going to do is stay nice and loose and use the body as a whip. So as we rotate the hips, we're going to extend the arm, lock the elbow in so the arm is nice and straight, and we're going to turn that fist over so the palm's either flat to the floor or slightly more, so we're hitting with those first two knuckles on our hand, which is the hardest point of our hand. So whipping all that stuff together, this is how you want to be practicing throwing your jab from all three angles. Notice how when I throw that jab, my shoulder is offering my chin protection. I should have my chin tucked down behind my shoulder. I don't want to have my chin higher than my shoulder, because again, I'm going to be open for a whole load of nasty counters. And all I'm doing is just extending the arm, keeping the opposite side tight, and rotating the hip out as I throw the shot and back in as I bring it back to my defense. And then from the last side, so that's the basic way of throwing your jab, guys. As I said before, there's going to be lots of content surrounding the jab, many different uses and variations, etc. So make sure you're following the page, like the video, give it a share for me, and stay tuned for the next one.